My name is Barry Joseph, and I'm the Associate Director for Digital Learning here in New York City at the American Museum of Natural History. Right now I'd like to talk about informal science learning in the digital age, specifically in a collections-based museum context. In 1869, when the museum first opened, it had a three-pronged focus: research, exhibitions, and education. And I work here now, almost 150 years later, in the education department. One of the incredible things about doing informal science here at the American Museum of Natural History is the opportunity to connect young people with not only all the incredible collections that they can experience through the exhibits in our 45 different halls, but also the more than 33 million objects that we have behind the scenes in our collections. Those objects are collected by our over 200 research scientists who are working, advancing knowledge every day. So thinking about how we can engage young people here at the museum in our programs, we have a wide range of tools that we get to explore, and it's tremendously exciting. One area, of course, is looking at the digital tools that scientists are currently using today, whether it's working with databases and coding from digital fabrication. I think behind me you can see some of the dinosaurs that we have from a youth program a few summers ago. This idea of, getting to use 3D printers is exciting and new, but the idea of digital fabrication and scanning and the role it can play in science is not new at all. For many years, scientists here have been scanning in our labs monkey skulls, ancient humanoid skulls, pottery shards from archaeological sites, and then using those 3D scans on computers to study things like evolution or how cultures changed and shifted over time. The dinosaurs, for example, came from a program where the youth got to actually look at Allosaurus bones from our collections behind the scenes, study them on the computer, and then printing them out, putting them together in ways that address different scientific questions. So digital fabrication is new and exciting and a great way to engage young people and bring youth who might not have otherwise been coming into the museum into our education programs, but it's just one way to give young people insight into what kind of skills and practices contemporary scientists are using today. Another area of digital science is looking at science visualization. How do scientists work with mass data to create visualizations to help them understand patterns and then use science visualization to communicate that out to the public? Another area is games-based learning. In recent years, we've explored a wide range of ways to combine not only different content areas with games, but different types of games: card games, digital games, mobile games, blended games, augmented reality within games, and it's been tremendously exciting for us to see all the different possibilities. For example, last year we released a card game about pterosaurs in association with an exhibit we had about that very topic. So with this card game, which is a decent card game you can play that teaches you about food chains, you not only get to look at these beautiful images that are scientifically as up-to-date as you can get about pterosaurs, but you can also hold your phone over it and through an augmented reality app see how did pterosaurs take off, how did they fly, how did they land. So this is a way for us to not only introduce really important up-to-date science content to game players, but at the same time reveal through augmented reality things you otherwise couldn't see on the printed page. This year we're going to be releasing 2 more card games. One will be about killer snails, and one will be about the gut microbiomes within our stomachs and all the microbes that live there. These games and other games like it are all part of a process we've been exploring of not only creating educational products for the public, but doing it in collaboration with scientists, exhibitions, the other departments of the museum, and collaborating through an after-school youth program. So young people are part of the development team, not just testing the concept, but actually helping to create the narratives, to create new concepts, to create even different ways to be engaged within the gameplay. And so for us, this is an interesting opportunity for us to see how can youth programming not only achieve educational goals for the youth who come to the museum, but also achieve institutional goals and how we want to be doing science education with the public. Some other games we have coming out will be later this fall, for example, Micro Rangers, which is a mobile experience that will invite visitors to experience the museum from the microscopic level. So coming in as a micro ranger, kind of like a park ranger, but you're thinking about the microbiome, there are problems that are going to occur inside the exhibits. And working with cards that create augmented characters of scientists, players will collaborate with them to do augmented reality games at the exhibits to first do diagnostics, to identify the problem, and then something scientifically through augmented reality to solve that problem. And all of these different challenges within the exhibits are connected in a broader gaming mechanic inspired by some very popular board games on the indie market that will give players, let me tell you, a unique way to experience coming to the museum. And I've already mentioned augmented reality. We are an objects-based institution. We're all about the collections. We're all about helping people understand the beauty and awe of the world and the universe through seeing things you otherwise couldn't see. But of course, when you come and see them in a diorama, if you see an animal, that animal's not moving. right? Or if you see a beautiful cultural treasure from Northwest Coast indigenous people in Canada, for example, it's all behind glass. So augmented reality gives us an opportunity to break down that barrier, remove that glass, make that animal that's not moving come alive. You can do things with augmented reality to see things you otherwise couldn't see, touch things you otherwise couldn't touch, and hear things you otherwise couldn't hear. So for example, right now we're testing something in one of our halls where there, behind glass is a Neanderthal flute. And it's a replica of the only known Neanderthal flute that's ever been found. Now, with the mobile device, visitors can come and not only see that flute behind the glass, they can bring it up on their phone and play it and hear what it actually sounds like. We're just beginning to explore what informal science learning looks like, combined with museum content in a digital age. So these are just a few examples of what we've explored. As we strategize, we're figuring out what does next generation learning look like, both around science for young people and what it means for museums to be the location for that learning. So whether we're talking about playing a virtual Neanderthal flute, playing a card game about pterosaurs, creating your own 3D printed dinosaurs, or making a science visualization of climate change, what an exciting time for learning science.